Bulls fans, welcome into the Around the Horns podcast. It's your boy Tristan, your main man Mario, and it is Tuesday night. Our friends here at Fuel and Iron Food Hall welcoming us back to our favorite place, the North Pole. Mario, welcome back. I'm glad they let you in this week.
You know, I was a little concerned after last week. We got in a little bit of trouble, but they opened their arms to us. They even brought us presents. I don't know if the camera got the presents, but they love us. They want us back here, no matter how naughty we are and whatever list we're going to be on. They want us here.
Mario had to promise not to call anybody a ho-ho-ho this week, and that alone got him in the door, and for doing so, we're gracing you with another awesome edition of the podcast this week. Joining us in the first period to make it so awesome, can we get some love for Bulls head coach Chris Wilhite? Coach, welcome to the pod. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, guys. It's a little cold out, but got a big poofy new jacket that T-Dog got us, so I'm happy to wear it.
Wow, we made the naughty list for the Sauce Boss because he must have missed his two favorite podcast hosts, and for that, we'll never have him back on. But Chris, I'm glad you're here chatting with us after a really successful weekend. Two big wins against the Casper Warbirds. Obviously, nail-biter Saturday night. We got to talk about that one. But Friday, really not a whole lot you guys could do wrong. Talk about Friday night, how you carry some of that momentum into Saturday, and then just how big that late game winner was Saturday night.
Yeah, it was good. Backtrack a little here. Sorry, T-Dog threw you under the bus there. But moving on. No, I thought it was a good weekend. Kind of got back on track. I thought it was a good week heading into practice or heading into the games. There was just a lot of competition in practice, and that's kind of what we needed to get back to is a little more compete. And I thought we had that throughout the week into Friday. I thought Friday was a really good night. Guys did exactly what they needed to. They worked hard. They battled hard. They did what they needed to do within our game plan. But I thought all around our forwards played great. I thought our defense played great, and I thought Peck played great. So when you get those three playing great, it's going to be a good night.
And obviously, you talk about some of that new competition fueled by call-ups from the Premier League, and obviously a couple of Oilers gracing the ice this weekend. We got another guest joining us from the Impact who made an impact in his first weekend with the team. Talk about some of that new blood, fresh faces in the locker room, but also how much do they bring to the team from not only a compete standpoint, but skill set? Yeah,
it's a big boost. When guys are... it makes guys uneasy, right? But in a good way. It makes them feel like they need to work harder, compete harder, kind of keep their job in a sense. So for these guys to come in, they're three really good players, and I thought they did exactly what we needed them to. They made an impact in our game, especially Saturday night. Big goal with 27 seconds left. Kind of told him he probably needed about 16 of those this weekend, but I'm glad one of them went in, and so no, they're a big impact. We obviously had Roney. He's 1,000,000 feet tall. He made an impact. It's hard to get from the puck from him, and I think Casper was a great player who likes to make plays. He's always a guy on the ice that, especially with Gazer, who can get up and down the ice. I thought they were moving the puck well, and it gave them confidence that they can get into the offensive zone and make plays. With the kid from Elmira, I'll let you guys say his name because I messed it up last time we did this. I thought he made a huge impact with stepping in with the Twins. There's not many guys that can come in and probably do that they trust right away, and they trust him right away. So for him to make a statement on our team like that, that's exactly what we needed out of those three, especially.
And then going into this weekend, let's talk a little bit about a little surprise, a little holiday surprise you guys sprung on Bulls faithful. You have a exhibition game coming up. Tell us a little bit about that and just what fans could be looking for, because it's an exhibition game for us, is how I understand it, but not necessarily for the puppies.
Yeah, the Dogs, they're a new team for us in our league. They came from the EHL, the Eastern Hockey League, and they got started a little late, so they need more games, and they're coming here to see what the West is all about. And I want to thank them for coming out, right? That's a long travel. That's a lot of money that they're going to be spending, so I want to thank them for coming out. And I'm glad that with the ticket sales that we've had already, that our fans are Excited to see more hockey. I'm excited to play more hockey, especially here in front of the best fans in junior hockey. And I think it's going to be a good weekend. They're a team that works hard. They've only played a handful of games, so when it comes to getting used to the speed and style of the NCDC, they're still making their way onto that page. But you give them any time and space, and they'll make you pay for it. They're a team that works really hard, and you got to honor that. You got to respect their work ethic, and if you don't, then they're going to shove it.
Well, yeah, especially with the fact that they're coming in trying to make up some space in the standings, right? Like, to me, they have everything to put out on the line. So hopefully you guys feel the same sense of urgency, even though it doesn't change the standings for the Bulls, but still having that kind of fire and drive coming in has got to keep you guys on your toes, right?
Yeah, you can't take a weekend off. It doesn't matter if they're exhibition or league games. It's still hockey, and you still got to play it to win. What I'm expecting of our guys is they're hungry. They should be excited that they got 2 more games added to their schedule. That's just 2 more games that, honestly, that the rest of the division doesn't get. So especially for age-out guys like Henry Vest, Will Hofer, they should be excited because that's 2 more games of junior hockey, and that's the best type of hockey. And it doesn't matter if it's exhibition. You need to come in ready to go. You need to come in ready to compete, and we're treating it like any other game that we need to win.
And talk about how much it means this late in the season. Obviously, these will be the new last 2 games of 2024 for you guys. We said it last week. We're not a broken record player. You just added 2 final games this year. But knowing then you've got a little bit of a holiday break. The guys are going to go home. They'll go their separate ways, hang out for the holidays, come back. And then that first weekend of January, you're right back to NCDC Mountain Hockey. So how much does it mean to leave for a couple of weeks on a good note? And how do you feel like that lets you all as coaches rest a little bit easier knowing you've got good momentum going into the New Year series?
Yeah, that's huge. Just doing this for a few years now, this break can kind of either make it or break it for your team, and it's a good break to let these guys go reset. It's a long season. We've been going on 5 months now. I mean, we are here a month and a half, a month early, getting these guys into the work, getting these guys into shape. So these guys definitely earned a break. Go home, see family, reset, see friends and family, and honestly, it's awesome. We still have 2 more after this against Ogden in Ogden, so those are big games that we definitely need to take advantage of and definitely leave on a high note. But for these guys to have break, I've been there. I've been as a player. You need it. Your body needs it. Your mind needs it. You just need that week off where you can kind of go home, reset, do what you need to do. But I expect these guys come back hungry, ready to see each other, ready to play Bulls hockey and get after it for the second half.
And we talked about, you alluded to, you've been doing this now 6 years with the Pueblo Bulls, and we talked about this with Coach Dave Nelson last week. There seems to be a cyclical piece of this where we kind of start off the season really strong, looking really good, and we hit the holidays, and it seems to be trudging through mud a little bit. How important is it to change that now, to make sure that this is not a repeat of the past 2 seasons anyway, that you can go home for the break and really feel good about it?
Yeah, that's true. At this time, holidays, it's getting cold, the weather's changing, guys are getting a little homesick. We call it the dog days of junior hockey. Everybody goes through it. For some reason, we found a way to go through it for a couple of years, but one thing that the staff and our leaders and our returners have really made sure of is this isn't past years. This isn't a past team. We're a new team. We're a new squad, and we have a whole different mindset for this year. So I understand it is dog days of junior hockey, but I think with the guys that we have, with the guys still coming in, it's going to be hungry hockey. And with how close our division is of the top 4 teams, that's playoffs. It's going to be playoff hockey for the rest of the year. Doesn't matter if it's the first weekend or last weekend. It's always playoff hockey for us, playoff mindset, and every point is important. So you can't take a weekend off. You can't just say, oh, well, it's cold, it's dog days. There's no excuses. It's big boy hockey, and you need to act like it. And so I think with the group that we have, they're going to come back excited. They're going to come back ready to go and ready to start that playoff hockey mentality.
Well, we'll see if the Dog Days get a new definition this weekend against the Dogs from Boston. Bulls coach Chris Wilhite, thanks for joining us in the first period. Go get him this weekend.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Bulls fans, we've got 2 exciting periods of the podcast coming up for you. One new Bull and one of the best Bulls around. Don't go anywhere. It's the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast period 2 time, and we are joined now by one of the newest Bulls. And stop me if you've heard that before, but every single week we're bringing a new stud in. This time our period 2 guest joining us for the first time. Make some noise for Liam Coutu. Liam, welcome to the pod. How are you, man?
Good.
He's nervous, Tristan.
Nervous? I couldn't
nervous.
tell. We bring you up to the North Pole. We tell Santa you've been a good boy and that you deserved a spot on the pod. Liam, talk about your transition. It was fast and furious, making your way up from Elmira over the weekend just to join Pueblo and ho-hum end your first weekend of NCDC hockey with a game-winning goal. What does that transition period look like, and how cool was your first weekend of hockey here?
It was pretty cool. Honestly, a big transition to from Prem to NCDC, a big hockey level difference. But it was pretty fun. The boys helped me a lot, and 2 big wins this weekend.
Now, who stepped up? Obviously, it was a short week. You came in early this week, had to adjust, get ready for a game Friday night and Saturday night. And not only that, but they put you out there with 2 of the most lethal offensive weapons we have in the Marshanock boys. They played Premier last year, so they may be able to speak that language a little bit. But you caught on like this, and in no time you were making an impact. Who brought you into the team early on this week and made you feel at home?
Probably Felix Palmy. He helped me a lot. It's kind of because of him. I'm here. He told me, you should come here. It's really nice. And I was like, I'm sure I want to do this too and come experience the mountain and NCDC.
So in that process, talk to us a little bit about talking with Tunes and getting to know about what the team's all about. Talk about that whole transition from start to finish.
It went pretty fast, honestly. 1 week ago, I was heading to, I think it was Hershey or Westchester in Prem, and then I received a phone call from an old player from here, Will Dobson. He's Palmy's agent, and he talked to me and was like, this team's like, they seem pretty interested into you, and I was like, I'll talk to them, things been pretty fast, and yeah.
It's like dating a girl.
No.
For
this, I like to take my time.
Okay, all right, slick. So, coming here with that quick turnaround, what is it that either surprised you most or really made you glad with the decision you made?
The thing that surprised me the most is the altitude, because first practice it was pretty hard. My cardio at the end when we were skating, I was like one of the last guy. And most of the time it's not the case, but my ego was hit on this one.
Obviously, your ego's doing okay. After a game-winning goal, 27 seconds left on the clock Saturday night, you send the fans home happy with a sweep. That's got to feel good for your first weekend of NCDC hockey, but I'm sure you've had awesome hockey moments in the past. Talk about your hockey journey, where you're coming from, Elmira, obviously, in the Premier League. Talk about that, your transition before that, and where hockey brought you to all the way to Pueblo.
Yeah. So I started playing at my hometown in Granby in Quebec, where I'm from. I play from 6 to 12, 13 in AAA, things like that. And then right after I went near Montreal to play a higher level. And then until us in Quebec, it's called midget, which is kind of same thing as prep school or high school around here.
That's not a term we use in the United States anymore. It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's little people.
I'm sorry. But after I played my first year junior back home. In my own city, which was pretty fun, but unfortunately I had a knee problem, so I couldn't finish my year. So after this year, my advisor told me, you should maybe look at the routes of playing into America. There's more visibility, and I think hockey would be better for you, which was the case, because obviously I had a heck of a season in Elmira, and then after I got a better opportunity to go play NCDC, which is a higher level. which is near to college hockey.
Yeah, and for Bulls fans that were unaware, it's not like they just picked him out of a hat and said, this forward will do. You'd put something like 48 points up in 20 games in Elmira. Obviously.
58.
Oh, 58. My bad.
Man.
An offensive weapon of sorts, and I think you find yourself right at home at a really fast-paced Pueblo Bulls offense. You skate along guys that are a 2 or 3 point a weekend kind of feel. Where do you feel like you fit into this mix of high-scoring, high-power offense, and where do you see your game most developing to help the team out?
I mean, like, first of all, playing with the Twins help a lot. They're really good. I think they're a step in front of everybody else on their team. Just they're not only hockey, but like in the gym too. They're really good, and yeah, that's it.
Finding a good fit is one thing, but also knowing that you've got a ton of studs around you. One of them that we're going to talk to in just a couple of minutes here. What on a vet level, when you go out there and you see these guys that are vets of NCDC play a little bit faster than the rest, who did you see and go, man, if that's the competition level, I've got to step mine up a little bit?
Probably Henry, he is too, and then just like all the boys, they're like pretty fast, and their level is higher. Like they take care of their body, they go to the gym, and everything is just better here. So I need to step up my game on every aspect of the game.
And let's go back to this weekend.
Yeah.
Right? First weekend, it's cutting close. We have seconds left, and you score there at the end from a beautiful, like,
Perfect pass.
pirouette pass. Yeah. It was crazy, right? And that crowd went electric instantly. What was your thought? What were you feeling? What's going on through your head, seeing this from a whole new crowd who instantly love you?
Oh, it was amazing. Honestly, I just like dig the goalie, look the puck in the air. I look at the Twin. Didn't even have time to do my celly, and they just jumped right on me. And then I look onto the side and I see like all the fans cheering in the window. It was pretty awesome. Like you don't have fans like this everywhere in the hockey, and I'm glad I can have them in front of me and score for them.
So let me ask you this. You've obviously scored a lot of goals. We get it, all right? Well, you don't have to talk about numbers. But where in your hockey career did that goal rank?
Went up, you mean?
Yeah, was that one of your top 3 goals you've ever scored? Was it
this one?
Yeah.
I mean, for sure it was a special one, not only because it's my first one in NCDC, but like just the way I score 20 seconds left, also my number, and then and then just in front of the fan winning goal and to take the sweep for the weekend. It was pretty awesome.
It was.
So
awesome.
At least top 100 is what I'm getting out of this vibe. A pretty good feeling.
Top 57,000.
Liam, I'm going to let you go on a couple of very easy rapid-fire questions. I know you've only had a week of skating with the boys. You already said Vesti was up there and that the Twins were pretty good offensively, but now I want you to pick one. The most maybe elusive skater or who's most shifty in the scoring zone on this year's team.
Oh, shifty? I'll say Hill. I like his skate. I think he's pretty shifty. So, yeah, that's my choice.
Okay, who's got the best hands on this year's team?
Oh, Cooper. Definitely Cooper.
We saw a little bit of Cooper Owens' hands this weekend, and had it not been for a lost edge there on the circle, that guy was going to absolutely ruin the goalie's career.
And his head is up, too, so it's even more hard to remove the puck from him.
Now, fastest skater end-to-end, who is that on this year's team?
Probably one of the Twin. I'll say Simon.
Okay. And final question, if you had to career on the line, beat one of this year's goalies in a shootout, who are you putting it past every time?
Oh, our goalies or anybody?
Yeah, your goalies.
Peck. Definitely Peck. I like to score on him. Like today we had the game rebounds? We lost 10-9, but I got 6 goals on him, so.
Pecker, come see us at the North Pole, and we can put you and Liam head-to-head in a game of rebounds. Liam, thanks so much. Best of luck this weekend against the Dogs. Bulls fans, can we get some love for our Period 2 guest?
Not too bad.
I was a little bit stressing.
Bulls fans, don't go anywhere. Coming up in the third period, we've got a very special Christmas gift for our newest Vest guest on the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, period 3 time, and we've been teasing it the entire time by thinking we were saying best, but really we meant vest. Can we get some love for our period 3 guest, Henry Vest?
It all rhymes.
I was like Dr. Seussing my way through that one. Hank, welcome back to the pod, man. How are you?
Good. What's up, fellas? How are you guys?
We are pumped to have you here at our favorite place, not only the Fuel and Iron Food Hall, but the special edition North Pole. And we're in the Christmas spirit. How you feeling? Good about Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Santa and Christmas gifts? Like, it's the best time of the year for me, at least, I'd say.
Well, speaking of Christmas gifts, we have a very special gift for you. And for Bulls fans out there that have seen a home game, you've seen Around the Horns Network on the rear end of Henry Vest. That's because he's our sponsored player this year. So to make you an unofficial part of the Around the Horns Network, we got you your very own Henry Vest.
Oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. Sound like one of you guys now, eh?
You throw it on. Let's do the rest of the pod. Man, it feels so good to have you here on the podcast, Henry. And obviously, now fitting in the Vest crew around. Let's talk about this season so far. We have just been chomping at the bit to get you on the podcast. Finally found some time in the schedule. How's the season been treating you?
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, our whole team is just a bunch of beauties. Like, we all get together almost every weekend. Every week we're always hanging out, watching movies, playing games, playing Xbox. It's just been a really fun season. We have a really good team, I think. Like, I think that we have, like, a really good chance this year to actually go do something cool. And I know, like, talk is cheap, but I like watching our practices, how we play in games. Like, we have a really good team. So I'm super excited to see where it goes. But, like, it's been a really fun season so far, so.
And as a returner from last season, comparing this team to last year's team, what is the biggest change for you? What is it that really sparks that hope and that optimism that you have for the success for the team this year?
I think we have a lot of guys who's bought in. Like, everyone's bought into what we're trying to do. Everyone is bought into our systems, how we show up every day to the rink, how we show up to workouts. Like, everybody's bought in. And when you have everybody bought in, it's really easy to have a good culture, and our culture's really good. So I think that when you have 26 guys who want to win and who are bought into the systems, it makes a big difference. So I think that would be like the biggest difference between this year and last year for sure.
Yeah, and obviously for you, your game has not only taken a leap up, but your presence on the ice, the way you carry yourself, and the way people respect you. We ask guys week in and week out. We had Will Hofer on the pod last week. He even brought you up as a guy that kind of is a natural leader on this year's squad. And I think that is one of the coolest things Mario and I get to see year in and year out is guys come in and they're excited to be playing at the next level, and then they really settle in year 2. How much different does that feel for you this year, and where have you seen yourself grow?
Yeah, I think, like, the biggest thing is just being a leader for other guys. Like, I think we have a team full of leaders. It's not just one guy or 3 guys. There's a whole bunch of leaders on our team. So it makes it super easy when everyone is a leader. Like, everyone is accountable for each other. And I think this summer, like, I just had a lot of confidence. I went in and got a lot better. I got bigger, clearly, got stronger, got faster, was on the ice all the time. So that makes a big difference when you're able to come into a season and notice that you're physically better on the ice. It kind of helps you take a step outside of the ice to help other people too, in my opinion. So I think that'd be the biggest difference, definitely for my leadership skills too, is that when you have people around you, it makes it a lot easier.
And when you look at last year's team, those returners that came back with you, who do you think has made the biggest jump outside of yourself? Like, who really came back with that same mindset and mentality that you came back with?
I think all 7 of us who came back, I think, made a huge jump. Clarkie obviously made a huge jump. Jimmy made a huge jump. I think Coop, Will, like, all of our returners made a huge jump, but I would definitely say Nikita, being in 06 last year, coming back this year, leading the power play. Like, he took a step on defense this year. Like, you can tell that he leads back there and he helps everybody else. I think he got a lot better in the D zone. He's able to break out pucks a lot better. He's gotten faster. So I definitely say Nikita is stronger. He's just had a really good season, and I think he's a really good leader on our team. So.
And of the new guys that have come in, who's really been the guy you're like, I am glad this guy's in Pueblo, Colorado with me?
Definitely Hunter Bill. He wasn't here at the start, but he came, like, I think 3 weeks after we started, and he's an age out this year, and me and him have became pretty close. We've played a lot together, and he's just a really good person. He's fun to play with. He's fun to be around. He's always got a smile on his face, and I think that makes a big difference when you show up to the rink and there's a guy who's always cracking jokes and making fun of people. So definitely Hunter Bill.
We've made a couple of jokes. We love Hunter Bill's energy and what he brings, but he also kind of plays that Brad Marchand role for you guys where he's so damn good? You just hate how chippy he can make things and how much he gets under guys' skin. But I think that's always kind of been the MO for the Bulls. And you've got to have that guy that goes out and does it, but then backs it up on the ice. I want to rewind a little bit here and talk about a guy you mentioned earlier, Cooper Owens, who doesn't get all the love in the world all the time, but just does everything right. And for a guy that got to skate a ton with him last year, now bringing him back this year, seeing the way his game has developed, I think his name comes up every week when we talk about best hands. What do you like most about Coop's game? How cool has it been to see a guy like that come back, play for the hometown team, and just be killing it in year 2 with us?
Yeah, I mean, he just goes to work every day. Like, he's not the loudest kid in the group by far, but he just goes and works. Like, he's super skilled. He's one of those kids that you notice right away on the ice because he's so skilled and he's super fast. But I just like how he just goes to work. Like, he does the little things right, too. Like, he always finishes his checks. He gets in the corners. Like, he's not just a skill guy who's waiting for the puck to come to him. He goes and gets it and makes plays. And I think that, like, seeing that from this year to last year, like, you can tell he's older. He's gotten bigger, kind of like what we've been talking about. And he's just got that confidence with the puck, too, that, makes him a really special player. So.
Now, there's a ton of season left here with the Bulls, but obviously it's impossible not to look forward and try to think about what's next for you. And I think you've got some exciting plans coming up in the next couple of days and weeks, but trying not to get too far ahead of yourself, but knowing the reality of aging out of junior hockey. What do you hope to do next year with hockey, and what are some of those prospects looking like?
Yeah, I'm hoping to go play college hockey next year at the D3 level. I've talked to a couple of schools. Thursday, I go to Boston and New York to go visit a couple, and I'm just super excited. Like, I've worked really hard for this opportunity and put myself in a good situation, and I think like I'm starting to realize that. So it's pretty cool to be able to go visit schools and like kind of feel like, man, I've worked hard for this. Like, I'm showing something for it. So I'm pretty excited. I'm super excited to hopefully play hockey next year and kind of keep this thing going. So.
Well, I'm really excited because you have a new wardrobe to show off while you're on the road doing these college visits, because nothing's going to get you an offer like these vests.
I know.
I'm telling you right now. But let's go back real quick. I know we got to start talking about wrapping it up, but I want to ask you, from this past weekend, what was the craziest thing of these two things? Was it the spinning pirouette pass to the goal at the last 20 seconds, or was it Quinn Smith losing teeth on the boards celebrating?
100% Quinn Smith losing his teeth on the boards.
Okay, that was crazy, right? It wasn't just me, just nuts.
He jumped into the boards and lost his 2 front teeth, and then proceeded to blame it on other people for pushing him into the boards when he jumped into the boards with his face. I don't know. It's pretty funny.
Well, he did tell us that he just did it so he could sing "All I Want for Christmas Is My 2 Front Teeth." Unfortunately, he didn't knock him all the way out, just halfies. But that was a wild scene indeed.
Yeah, we checked with Santa. Quinn, you were definitely not getting those puppies back on December 25th this year. Vesti, we're going to let you go in just a minute here, but I want to wrap up with a couple of thoughts on this last weekend. Obviously, a feel-good moving into this weekend's game against the Dogs. But you guys have a ton of NCDC games left on this calendar. What do you hope you're doing at the end of this season, hanging your skates up and saying, hey, we did this thing? What's a success for you in 24-25?
I think making it to the finals, like whether it's the Mountain Division or the Deneen Cup finals, I think that like we have a really good team, and just to waste it away would be like really regretful. So like for me, I want us to be able to put our skates up and be like, man, we fought all the way to the end, whether we win or lose, like we're going to get to the finals. And if we fall anything short of that, I think it's a failure. So personally, like that's where I want to be at the end of the year. I've always wanted to be on a winning team that wins a championship, and I think that this is a team that can do it for sure. So
we agree. And I would say real quick, we need to go back to the beginning of this period, because Tristan talked about how on the back of your jersey, Around the Horns Network is sponsoring you this year. I haven't seen it on that sweater yet. What is going on with that? Are you causing enough noise with the... Do we need to talk to someone? Because I'll rough a guy up.
Yeah,
I
think it's the same guy who I guess didn't get your jackets. I might want to have a conversation with him. I'm going to stay out of this.
Thanks, Ty.
But I do agree with you, not having the little Around the Horns Network on the back of my jersey. Maybe it'd add a couple little boosts to my skating ability. That's what I heard around the street. So maybe if we could get that on there a little bit quicker, I'd be ready to go. So.
Here's what we know for certain. You were on the pod this week, and you were going to take the official Around the Horns Network bump next weekend, which means you're going to have your best weekend hockey. And whether that means you're signing a deal to go play D3 hockey next week or making it back in time to play the Dogs, whatever it is, Vester, you're going to be your best self this weekend thanks to the Around the Horns Network.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. So hopefully it'll help me out, score a couple goals. I've been a little dry recently. So.
We have faith.
Bulls fans, can we get some love for our Period 3 guest, Henry Vest? Best of luck to you, man. Go get him. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bulls fans, exhibition games this weekend at the PIA and Events Center Saturday night, Sunday night. Little different schedule, but if you want to see your Bulls take on the Boston Dogs, get your tickets at the shop on 4th Street. $10 a seat, or a family 4-pass for $15. Go hit up the PIA and Events Center this weekend. See your boys one final time in 24-25, and then come back and see us here next Tuesday at the Fuel and Iron Food Hall. You can stay tuned all season for the official place. All things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns Network.